Govberg, and welcome to the world of Oris. Today, I'll be your guide to the proper usage, care, and maintenance of your Oris Big Crown Propilot Worldtimer. Now, it's important to note that this automatic winding timepiece can nevertheless be manually wound should it run down by taking the crown and threading it counterclockwise till you feel and hear a pop out of its threaded sleeve. At this point, turn in a clockwise direction 20 to 30 turns to energize the watch and begin the beat of the balance. You'll see the small seconds hand at 9 o'clock begins to advance. Now you can set the time, set the date, set the second time zone, put the watch on the wrist, and the natural course of kinetic action with the caseback winding mass will ensure that the watch fully energizes itself. However, should you wish to wind to the maximum rated power reserve of 38 hours, simply continue turning in a clockwise direction. Due to the bridle style mainspring, which slips to relieve excess tension, you cannot accidentally overwind this timepiece. Now, it's important to note that once the watch is wound, there are subsidiary functions that allow precise setting of the primary time zone, the secondary time zone, and the date. It's important to start with the most remarkable feature of this timepiece, and its entirely unique interface. Using the proprietary bezel setting system, you can actually advance your local time at center forward or backwards, with the local time driving the date as reference. Now, it's important to note that when you pull the crown out all the way and activate stop or hacking seconds, you move both of the hour indications and minute indications in sync. Hacking or stop seconds can also be used to set the time precisely against a known accurate reference, such as an online atomic clock. Find your online atomic clock, set the watch to the exact same hour but 1 minute ahead relative to your reference. Stop the seconds hand at 60, and when the reference catches up precisely to the second and the minute, push the crown back in. When the seconds hand is advancing, the watch will have been synchronized to your reference time. Now that we've seen how to set both time zones in sync, and we've seen how to sync to a reference time, it's important to note that there is one more subsidiary function, and that is the quick set date function. This can be used to rapidly cycle your local date. Again, the date is driven by the local time zone at center. Should the watch run down or encounter an irregular length month, you can rapidly and easily cycle through. But keep in mind, this function should never be used between the hours of 9 p.m. and 3 a.m., as this is the period during which the watch's own automatic date changeover through midnight is engaged. If you must change the date during this period, manually advance the hours and minutes through the turn of midnight. Do not attempt to use the quickset date, as attempting to use quickset during an automatic jump can severely damage the date mechanism and the movement. Now, there are several areas of hazard to consider in the ownership of this timepiece: water, magnetism, and shock. Water is by far the greatest threat. Start with the fact that a leather strap, as featured here, is a natural porous material that is never water resistant. It's important to ensure that the watch is on a bracelet, a rubber, or a textile strap prior to immersion or even moisture exposure. Second, you can help avoid accidental drownings. This is a screw-in crown. It must be threaded in and its functions remaining unused when the watch is submerged or even when there's water on the case. Attempting to use the setting functions of the bezel and the setting functions of the crown, as well as its winding functions, can bypass the seals of the watch and introduce water to its interior. This must be avoided. It's also important to remember that while you can help avoid accidental drownings, you should know the limits of your watch. Every Oris features its water resistance rating on its caseback. 10 bar or 100 meters on this watch, being rated by Oris as sufficient for aquatic activity short of professional style diving. And finally, water resistance is not a static feature of a watch. It will ebb with time as seals and lubricants age. Therefore, Oris recommends on an annual basis, generally before the start of the summer season, having your watch water tested to ensure factory rated hermeticity is retained. Now, magnetism is a ubiquitous threat in modern life. Its threat is that it can alter the properties of the ferrous hairspring at the center of your watch's balance, effectively changing its heartbeat. Now, this can cause rapid running or slow running, but generally it's marked by erratic performance. Keep the watch remote from the closures of wallets, purses, refrigerator doors, speakers, woofers, or MRI equipment, as all of these can magnetize the hairspring, and if you suspect that your watch becomes magnetized, take it to an authorized service center of Oris, where specialized equipment is available to quickly and easily demagnetize your watch. Finally, avoid concussion and shock. ATV riding, mountain bikes, firearms marksmanship, golfing, tennis, or batting. Disuse your watch during all of these activities to avoid concussive damage to your timepiece. And finally, a fine mechanical movement requires comprehensive service every 3 to 5 years. This includes cosmetic restoration, restoration of water resistance, cleaning, oiling, and adjustment of the movement itself. Strap will also be replaced if necessary, and this should be done exclusively at authorized service centers of Oris. With the trained personnel, specialized tools and equipment, and original factory replacement parts to maintain the value of your watch as both an investment and as an instrument. Moreover, only these agencies can back parts and labor invested with an Oris factory service warranty. Finally, visit our website at govbergwatches.com and call, text, or email our experts who will be happy to walk you through every phase of the ownership, care, and usage of this or any Oris fine timepiece.